We've shared countless stories about it here on Fox 2. There's been an increase in anti-Semitism. It's one of the topics tonight on Let It Rip. Roop Raj joins us now with a preview. Hi, Roop.
Hey there, Jamie. Certainly something that's so important to so many people who are watching. A rise in anti-Semitism, but also a huge spike in the number of cases that we're seeing about anti-Arab hate. And that's happening all across the country, even here in Metro Detroit, where, as you know, we have 200,000 Arab American families in the state of Michigan, 200,000. Think about that number. And so we're seeing a 300% increase when it comes to anti-Arab hate cases in this country. We're also seeing a more than 300% increase in anti-Semitic hate cases. This could be anything from someone yelling a slur, some graffiti. It could be some kind of an act. Just absolutely awful. So the Arab American community and the Jewish community here in Metro Detroit, they're saying, hey, we got to figure this out. We got to figure out a way to have conversations, to talk about these things, and not have this kind of hate invited into our homes. And the most interesting part about this, Jamie, is that they had a lunch, or a dinner rather, last week in Redford, Michigan, in which the Muslim American community invited Jewish and Christian brothers and sisters to sit down in the midst of the war that's happening 6,000 miles away and have dinner, break bread together, and do the right thing. Is that the beginning of chipping it away at hate and misunderstanding? Perhaps. And that's what we're going to be talking about and addressing tonight on Let It Rip.
Yeah, and hopefully something can be done to, get rid of this. I mean, it's an issue that we're seeing nationwide and obviously here in Michigan. And is it safe to say that this is a result of the war that's going on right now?
Absolutely. I mean, look, anti-Semitism, anti-Arab hate, nothing new, unfortunately. And sadly, we can say, of course, after 9/11, the Arab American community here in Metro Detroit experienced a surge in hate. And I've talked to many of those Arab American members of our community who say that this is the time that they're not going to sit back and let it happen. They're actually speaking out. They're actually saying this is wrong. A war that's being waged 6,000 miles away, that against a terror group called Hamas, in which we have 32,000 people of Palestinian descent who have been killed. And then the suffering happening here 6,000 miles away. There's no reason for people to have to take out their hate, their frustration, their anger, or their stance on the war at the people who are simply just living their lives. And by the way, the same can be said for the Jewish community here. They feel the same way as Benjamin Netanyahu is doing some things that aren't as popular as they could be on the world stage when it comes to his continued assault on Hamas and in Gaza. They're saying, hold on here. Your Jewish American brothers and sisters who live in Ann Arbor and Troy and Brighton, that's not who this is about.
Yeah.
And so keep your hate out of this equation. That's what they're hoping to get through tonight on Let It Rip.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that conversation. And Roop, you're also touching on the topic of electric vehicles tonight.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so here's the deal. There are plants that are saying we literally have slowed down to a snail's pace and we have to lay people off. There are American auto companies that had hoped that the EV buzz would have been built up a lot more by now. But unfortunately for them, that's just not the case. Consumers have not responded the way these companies had hoped. And even Mr. Farley, the CEO of Ford Motor Company, said, look, we understand the frustration that people have when it comes to range anxiety. And it's not just range anxiety. You talk to a therapist, anxiety is something often about something that isn't really going to happen that you get anxious about. Look, this isn't just anxiety. This is a reality check here. People are trying to drive their EVs at long distances, and they're finding that chargers don't work. There aren't enough chargers around, and that's a big key.
Yeah, definitely. Not only do they not work, but where are they? Do you think we were too ambitious when it came to the idea of electric vehicles?
Well, good question, Jamie. And when you say we, I think you're talking about the big three, and you're right. They probably were, but not just the big three. Think about who they were getting incentives from, the government. The Biden administration and many Democrats at the table were pushing EVs hard, and for good reason. The environment is close to the agenda's heart when it comes to the left and when it comes to Democrats, and that's important. And no one, I wouldn't say no one, but not many people are arguing that we don't want to come up with a cleaner way to do this. That's not the issue. The issue is when you plug in your electric car here in Detroit, Michigan, how much less carbon footprint are you showing than if you had a combustion engine? Well, we know that it's a lot less, but is it completely clean? Is it zero emissions? No, because when you plug in your car, you're still burning coal to get electricity into your battery. And so we're going to kind of get into some of the weeds with that. We have John McElroy, who's an amazing guy. He's an auto dean, a WWJ auto reporter. And we also have a conservative woman who's coming on to say, look, the Biden administration needs to tap the brakes on this and let this breathe. Let it kind of come about organically.
Yeah, the electric vehicles were really trending for a moment there, but like you said, we might not be there just yet. It'll be interesting to see how promising the future for them will be.
Yeah, and Jamie, while the full electric vehicle may not be the most popular thing on the plate right now, if you talk to any dealer, which I had the chance to do earlier today, I called 3 different dealerships here in Metro Detroit. They say the hybrids, they can't keep them in stock. I mean, if you talk about like a Jeep hybrid, Jeep Wrangler hybrid, those things are selling like hotcakes, and so are a lot of the other hybrid cases. So I think people are curious about it. They want to be able to do a little bit of it, but maybe not the full electric just yet.
Yeah, and it's a good start before we go full on electric, just so people can kind of ease their way into it and kind of get a feel for, you know, what that future may look like.
And the future, you're right, and the future has to look like a place where not just the government is putting the effort out there, but also companies. I mean, we're lucky here at Fox 2. Our management team put up electric chargers right here at Fox 2 so that I drive an electric vehicle. Many other people do here. I think 12 people drive electric vehicles here, maybe more. So we're able to plug in at work. That's a huge incentive. So it's going to take the entire community to come together to say, hey, we want this to work or not.
Yeah, everyone will have to get on board for sure.
That's true.
All right, looking forward to it tonight, Roop. Thank you.
Always good talking to you.
You too. Well, the fight to save a historic school building in Kego Harbor appears to be over. A judge has